So here's a little piece of records that truly none of you probably have ever heard as soon as to your lifetime ever. Wall Street manipulates things within the crypto area, within the inventory area. In actual property, you call it. They manipulate matters. It's simple. Yeah, outstanding big surprise, right? Well, nowadays we're going to reveal a little bit of what is taking place behind the curtain due to the fact a few humans I agree with have some very sinister plans when it comes to the crypto manipulate and a monopoly over the deliver of some of distinctive cryptocurrencies. And so that is absolutely something I think we need to, as a minimum, take note of at least, but you realize at quality, I suppose we should do something about it. But anyways, I digress. First, you men want to apprehend what is going on, how this manipulation is going on, what BlackRock is gambling component in this, and how other elites as nicely also are playing a massive part in what is going on here as nicely. So with that being said, first I need to begin via showing you a clip in the Altcoin Daily YouTube channel of a video he recently released in which he talked to anyone who had attended an occasion, and well, some thrilling matters. Listen to this, my friends. The belongings is exquisite. However, extra importantly, the guests are terrific. The inside information I came with regard to, for instance, the USA Bitcoin Reserve, this guy changed into, in reality, sharing that he is operating together with, and I checked this guy with the USA authorities to truly pave the way to get a Bitcoin United Reserve, right? And that might place the United States as the biggest capability buyer in history due to the fact they're sitting at the printing gadget. You suppose it's going to take place? I know it's going to happen. I just talked about it. But how do they know it's going to manifest? Well, he works with Donald Trump. Holy shit, guys, somebody says no longer happening, friend. They're responding, everybody receives Bitcoin on the rate they deserve. No, it's precise to be skeptical. Yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff, right? Essentially, we had a massive Michael Saylor event. I imply glaringly it is Michael Saylor. The majority of the community there may be going to be about Bitcoin, but a variety of other people are there interested in cryptocurrency. Obviously, humans that talk quite a few crypto out of doors of Bitcoin too are attending this event. And so there may be a few huge matters occurring behind the scenes. I mean, Bitcoin being a strategic reserve asset within the United States, like that is nearly a certain factor. This is going to be happening now for the United States federal authorities. That is absurd. And that is so insane, right? And so when you aspect which means into the equation here, it turns into pretty evident to me at the least that there is a few large emotions taking place beneath the scenes, particularly with what I'm approximately to reveal you with BlackRock very shortly right here. But there is another component here which virtually supports what I'm talking about, and that is of Path Brad Garlinghouse's modern announcement. That is certainly now trending throughout Twitter. I did of direction share this with you men the day prior to this, pretty a whole lot, as soon as Brad Garlinghouse tweeted this out. And you could see, you recognize everybody speaking about it now, the most pro-crypto Congress in history. That tons is playing. Now, with that being stated, there may be also a few pretty cool things taking place for XRP particularly. We can see Ripple partners with SEPA, Instant Credit Transfer System, which is dealing with $2.6 trillion every day. And we are able to see that the demand, particularly for XRP, is only going to be growing come this year in 2025. You recognize Europe is going to be possibly one in all the biggest markets for both XRP and RLUSD. And I suppose additionally South Korea and Japan are going to play a very huge component into the future of the XRP's ecosystems increases properly. And so this is what we actually need to pay attention to, is those forms of partnerships like SEPA, the Instant Credit Transfer System. And of direction, even in China, there may be massive partnerships taking place there properly. What we are able to see on pinnacle of all of this, though, is there's large waves happening in the fraud facet of things. Okay, I imply you guys have probably heard approximately FTX, that giant US exchange, and the founder of that trade that went to prison for mismanaging humans' finances and lying to the general public and most of these horrible matters. Well, they're going to be giving returns $16 billion to its creditors very quickly. And that is all money it truly is going to float immediately back into the crypto market. When you element on the fact that XRP is tapping right into a multi-trillion-dollar industry here and making those large partnerships as highlighted by means of this document right here, you have billions of bucks coming in from the FTX creditor situation. You recognize all of those main matters happening in authorities. I suppose it starts to become evidently clean as a minimum to me that this UR is extremely special for some special reasons. But there is one issue that I have been alluding to a bit on this video that we in reality want to look out for, because this will have an effect on the complete crypto industry. And this is none aside from Larry Fink, BlackRock CEO, due to the fact he is not simply buying Bitcoin to shop for Bitcoin with no cause or ulterior reason in the back of it. I mean, the Bitcoin ETF gives the device to BlackRock to be able to collect a controlling percentage of the Bitcoin deliver. And this ought to be a concerning issue, thinking about that Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, has monopolized multiple distinct industries and has a controlling stake in all the top technology companies and most of the pinnacle banks properly. I imply this guy might be one of the unmarried maximum effective human beings in the world because he's managing trillions of greenbacks in price range. And he is additionally now looking to monopolize the Bitcoin space. So there is a put up right here that I want to highlight from Wolf Financial right here that I these days notice on X. He says, it looks like BlackRock is probably seeking to fork Bitcoin. Don't consider me. Well, their CC filings endorse I'm right. If you own Bitcoin, you want to read this. And in truth, if you have got any cryptocurrency, you want to read this too, because BlackRock forking Bitcoin and basically starting to control the chain of Bitcoin is something it is going to affect the entire crypto industry in a big way. Bitcoin is a main indicator for maximum of the market. So sure, this may have deep ramifications for the whole thing if we don't act consequently. So photo this. BlackRock's ETF becomes increasingly a success. POS fork, a small yet vocal minority on Twitter, opposes this. BlackRock and governments undertake their new fork as Bitcoin anyway, and the recommendation of the vocal minority falls on deaf ears after a few months. Now, if BlackRock turn into to do a fork of Bitcoin, basically what this indicates is they might create a brand new blockchain with a brand new set of guidelines. Now, what does this suggest? Well, hypothetically, because of this, they may lay out Bitcoin to do precisely something they desire to do. This method they could mint new Bitcoin Cash. This means that they could add new tendencies that suit them at the cost of retail investors. These are all opportunities as to what they are able to do. Now, why is this a concern? Well, I need to examine something proper right here that's quite, I do not know, simply regarding to mention the least. Okay, this is a screenshot from their CC filing prospectus for the iShares Bitcoin Trust. It says the sponsor will use his discretion to determine which network have to be taken into consideration appropriate community. There is not any guarantee that the sponsor will choose a digital asset that is in the end the maximum treasured fork. In different words, their wording in their documentation does say that their Bitcoin ETF may be used for a fork of Bitcoin. This is a little bit abnormal considering that no person earlier than BlackRock got here alongside became even speaking virtually about this. I mean, there was perhaps a few very small minority of human beings, less than 0.1% of the Bitcoin populace, that maybe had stated this previously as a futile way of constructing a higher blockchain. But no people have been honestly taking this severely because it goes against the fundamentals of what Bitcoin stands for, that is decentralization. And I want the screenshot turned into full, but it is no longer. On the floor, it might appear especially harmless what they are pronouncing right here, but there are some problems. Firstly, in the event of a difficult fork, the version of Bitcoin BlackRock sides with is as much as the sponsor. Sounds like ambiguous attorney jargon to me. No clear standards previous to any fork creates a wiggle room for tyranny. Secondly, the sentence in their filing is notably suspect. BlackRock is a for-income corporation. They have a fiduciary obligation to make their customers cash. Why would they ever choose to adopt a less precious fork? This might bring about much less earnings for his or her ETF. The answer is straightforward. They understand the extra network would reject an eco-friendly fork. Their fork Bitcoin price would be decreased than the pre-fork Bitcoin. Could they be making ready for that reality? Well, this is something that I surely assume we must be prepared for. We can't provide BlackRock a controlling proportion of the Bitcoin deliver, as it will permit them to have an excessive amount of manage over it. And they can also potentially appear to begin corrupting even the developers in the back of the Bitcoin undertaking, giving them cash to do matters that are not within the exceptional interest of the common Bitcoiner.